Yo, what's up everybody? It's Mari Atterson, and we're diving into the world of electric vehicles. Electric cars are no longer a thing of the future. They're here and they're changing the way we drive, from sleek Teslas to all-electric Ford F-150 ES. The streets are looking more and more electric every day. Let's dive into the top reasons why EVs are becoming the go-to choice for many. First up, let's talk about the environmental impact, because that's a big one. Internal combustion engines, they produce a lot of emissions. The stuff that pollutes the air and contributes to climate change. EVs, different story. They run on electricity, which means zero tailpipe emissions. And it's not just about the tailpipe. The overall carbon footprint of an EV, from manufacturing to driving, is significantly lower than that of a gasoline car, especially when you consider the possibility of charging your EV with renewable energy sources like solar or wind power. A lot of people are making the switch because they're concerned about the environment and want to reduce their impact. And hey, it's a pretty great feeling knowing that your daily commute isn't leaving a trail of emissions behind it. But it's not just individuals making a difference. Governments and businesses are also jumping on board, setting ambitious goals to reduce emissions. We're seeing stricter emission standards for vehicles, and some countries are even talking about phasing out gasoline-powered cars altogether in the coming decades. This push towards a cleaner future is a major driving force behind the rise of EVs. Speaking of governments, let's talk about the elephant in the room: incentives. One of the biggest hurdles for EV adoption has always been the price tag. EVs have historically been more expensive up front than their gas-powered counterparts, but governments around the world are stepping up to bridge that gap with some seriously compelling incentives. We're talking tax credits, rebates, grants, all sorts of financial assistance to make EVs more affordable for everyday buyers. These incentives can significantly reduce the upfront cost of an EV, making them a much more attractive option for budget-conscious consumers. And it's not just about the money. Remember those stricter emissions standards we talked about? Well, those are also pushing automakers to ramp up their EV production. Some governments are even implementing policies that penalize manufacturers for exceeding certain emissions limits. This combination of carrots and sticks is creating a perfect storm, where automakers are now heavily invested in developing and producing more EVs to meet these regulations and avoid those penalties. It's a win-win for the environment and for consumers looking for more electric options. Let's talk tech, because that's where things get really exciting. One of the biggest concerns people have about EVs is range anxiety, the fear of running out of battery before reaching their destination, and it's a valid concern. But here's the thing. Battery technology has come a long way, baby. We're seeing EVs with ranges that rival, and in some cases, even surpass those of traditional gas-powered cars. Think 300, 400, even 500 plus miles on a single charge. That's enough to get you from New York to Boston and back without breaking a sweat. And charging? Forget about those clunky, slow chargers of the past. We're talking fast charging stations that can juice up your EV in the time it takes to grab a cup of coffee. Plus, the charging infrastructure is expanding rapidly, with charging stations popping up everywhere from shopping malls to highway rest stops. But it's not just about range and charging. EVs are also packed with cutting-edge tech that makes driving safer, more convenient, and just plain cooler. Think regenerative braking, which captures energy during braking and feeds it back to the battery, extending your range. Or over-the-air software updates that add new features and improve performance without you ever having to step foot in a dealership. Okay, let's talk about the bottom line: cost. Now, we've already covered government incentives, which can significantly lower the upfront cost of an EV. But the savings go way beyond that. Think about it. No more gas stations. Electricity is significantly cheaper than gasoline in most places, so you'll save a ton of money on fuel costs over the lifetime of your EV. And maintenance? EVs have far fewer moving parts than gas-powered cars, meaning less wear and tear and fewer trips to the mechanic. No more oil changes, no more spark plugs, no more exhaust systems to worry about. But the real kicker? Depreciation. EVs are holding their value much better than gas-powered cars, which are quickly becoming the dinosaurs of the automotive world. So when it comes time to sell or trade in your EV, you're likely to get a much better return on your investment. So yeah, the initial cost of an EV might be a bit higher. But when you factor in all the savings, fuel, maintenance, depreciation, you're looking at a much lower total cost of ownership over the long run, and that's something that's definitely appealing to a lot of consumers. But let's be honest, it's not always just about practicality and saving money, right? There's a certain cool factor to EVs that you just can't deny. For starters, they're just plain fun to drive. The instant torque of an electric motor delivers exhilarating acceleration that will put a smile on your face every time you hit the pedal. And then there's the silence. No more roaring engines, no more noisy exhausts. Just a quiet, smooth ride that lets you enjoy your music or a conversation without any distractions. Plus, EVs are packed with all the latest and greatest tech, like advanced driver assistance systems, massive touchscreens, and even the ability to park themselves. It's like having a smartphone on wheels. But beyond the cool factor, there's also a growing sense of community among EV owners. People are proud to drive cars that are better for the environment and are eager to share their experiences with others. As you can see, the shift to electric vehicles is driven by a combination of environmental, economic and technological factors. Whether you're looking to save money, reduce your carbon footprint, or simply enjoy a better driving experience, EVs have something to offer. We're witnessing a fundamental shift in the automotive industry, and it's an exciting time to be along for the ride. The future of transportation is electric. It's cleaner, it's more efficient, and it's just plain cooler. So if you're thinking about making the switch, there's never been a better time. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more insights into the future of transportation.